Hey, welcome back to Big Time, everyone. It's been a long week for me. I'm an IT guy, so usually my weeks are pretty chill, but this week, everybody needed me for something. So it's been such a long week, I'm going to reward myself with a little drink while I'm checking out a subscriber request video. And today's request is coming from Actus Nero. He's got a record of throwing out some really impressive requests coming through here, so I really appreciate it. Actus Nero, thanks again for this request. Every time I get requests from everyone, I learn something new, so keep these requests coming, guys. I love doing it. I learned something new about the content as well as my subscribers. And obviously, I love getting to know all of you. So thank you for everyone who's been giving recommendations. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. So this one is a Star Wars Theory Deep Dive, who I love. I subscribed to him about 2 years ago, and he's doing great stuff over there. I'm super excited about it. So let's check it out. Oh, it's got the old title.
Hey guys, in this episode, I want to cover something pretty interesting, and something that was supposed to give us a very different feel to the whole high ground scene in Revenge of the Sith. So remember when Obi-Wan sliced Anakin into pieces? Anakin was full of rage and hate in that scene, and he was set in his path to kill the Jedi, never asking for help or forgiveness or anything, right? Well, according to the making of Star Wars Revenge of the Sith, Anakin was actually supposed to beg Obi-Wan to save him, to help him. This puts a totally different feel in the scene because now we have Anakin asking for help and forgiveness. What? Even if for but a moment, it still shows he was never fully committed to the dark side. Or it shows his treachery that he was going to use Obi-Wan's help to somehow kill him or throw him in the lava. Now personally, I think this is the moment that Anakin could have been swayed back to the light. I mean, there's more chance at this moment than any other, really.
True.
So here's the direct write-up from the book. Revenge of the Sith deleted scene, a cry for help. The scene where Obi-Wan defeats Anakin was originally slightly longer and included additional dialogue between the two men. After everything that happened between them on Mustafar, and after everything Anakin has done, Obi-Wan's first impulse is to reach out to help the man who became his brother, and Anakin's first impulse is to reach out to Obi-Wan for help. Anakin's cry for help, together with his outstretched hand, is actually left intact in the movie, even though the sound was muted. You can see Hayden Christensen's lips clearly pronouncing the words. Christensen groans to get into character, and then gives an emotional delivery of the two lines, "Help me, Master, and I hate you." The making of Star Wars Revenge of the Sith
I got chills from that.
Documents the filming of that dialogue, and there's actual behind-the-scenes footage where Obi-Wan refuses to help the fallen Jedi. It's only then that Anakin's eyes turn from blue to Sith red. This revelation adds a new dimension to the scene and makes it even more heartbreaking. "I love you, but I can't help you." According to this book, after Anakin implores Obi-Wan to save him, George Lucas asked Ewan McGregor to say, "I will not," softer, almost to himself, because after Anakin bursted into flames, it's as if Obi-Wan was talking to a dead person. That's why he also suggested, to drive home this point, that McGregor changed the words in the script to the past tense. "I loved you." Ewan agreed, but pointed out that his subsequent line would have to change to, "But I could not help you." Lucas also explained that what Obi-Wan is basically saying to Anakin is, "You were my only hope. You blew it, now we don't have any hope." So this adds a whole new dimension of feeling for that scene. Anakin was asking for help, and this was the moment that I feel he could have been saved. Obi-Wan declined, rightfully so. He did a lot of wrongs in this case, and thus cementing his path to the dark side forever. But it makes you think, what if he actually did save him? This kind of takes you back to my fan fiction where I did 2 parts of what if Obi-Wan saved Anakin.
I haven't seen that yet. I gotta see that.
That would changed the timeline, and if you haven't checked it out, do check it out. It was one of my favorites to make, and I think it holds a lot of truth for what could have happened here. However, Star Wars wouldn't be what it is today if that did. Now, of course, the New Hope was Luke Skywalker, but they don't really know that till much later. Anyways, let me know what you guys think of this alternate ending, this deleted scene that we never really got, and if you notice what Anakin is mouthing in Revenge of the Sith that they left in. Thanks again for watching, guys. I will see you all in the next episode of Star Wars Theory. Until then, my fellow Jedi and Sith friends, remember, the Force will be with you always.
Wow. Okay, that puts a whole different spin on things. Like that really, okay, I'm kind of reeling from that news. That's, hold on a second. Let me think about this for a minute. Okay, so okay, I've recovered after that news. I had to take a few couple more drinks out of my glass, but that actually puts a whole different spin on everything on that scene. And you can actually see, I'm going to have to pull up my Revenge of the Sith movie and take a look at it, kind of zoom in to see, because I've never even noticed him saying anything in that scene. I think my attention was drawn elsewhere, either his legs or his arm, elsewhere in the scene. I wasn't paying attention to him mouthing anything, but man, just thinking about that, him asking for help. And the question that Theory posed is a good one. Was he legit asking for help? He couldn't pull himself up that bank at all because his body was ruined at that point. All he had was the one hand to pull himself up with, and he could not have pulled himself back up. Was he truly asking for help? At this point, I have to wonder, or like Theory says, was he asking for help to lure Obi-Wan in closer so that he can kill him? Both options are on the table, because at that point, Anakin was well his way over into the dark side. He was committed. He had gone to the temple, wiped out all the younglings, wiped out all the Jedi who were there. So he was committed at this point, no going back. But in his last moment, I mean, that was an ultimate moment of weakness that he would have asked. He could possibly have asked his old master for help. And that is just so sad. And then for the dialogue for Obi-Wan to refuse his help is just like, man, like, it's just, I'm almost speechless about that, because I'm playing the scene out in my mind in both ways. So he's asking for help. He means it, and his master refuses it. That leads even to further heartbreak and hatred and pain, and which makes it even worse. So that's a whole different story there. But if he was legit asking for help, and it was the one opportunity for someone, anyone, and most of all, importantly, Obi-Wan, to assist him in that moment and to basically swat his hand away and say, I will not do that. I'm getting chills running up the back of my spine thinking about that, because that's the ultimate betrayal. Like that, the one person in this universe that you would expect to assist you when you need it the most refuses. Like, can you imagine what that would do to the psyche? That is wild. Why did they change that? See, I got to look at the source. I'm sure Theory left a link on it in that video to see where this is coming from. Is it coming from a book? Coming from interviews behind the scenes? Is it a biography? I got to see what the source is and kind of read more. I would love to know why they altered the scene. If that was the original format of the scene, why did they change it? That was a huge change in the scene. Like that would have made the scene so deeper than what it was. Like, just what we got was deep anyway. But just imagine knowing that Anakin was asking for his help. I'm speechless. Like, that changes the whole thing. And it would almost put the entire blame of what happened to Anakin on Obi-Wan. It would make Obi-Wan look like the bad guy in that scene. If you think about it, you're supposed to be a virtuous Jedi. You're there to assist people, anyone. And when this person who's obviously bad, and bad people can be recovered and they can come back, and everyone has the opportunity to restore themselves in some way. So he did not choose that opportunity to assist his Padawan, the one person in this world that he's the closest with, and he refused it. So maybe that's why they took it out. Maybe they wanted to uphold that Obi-Wan status, because his status was already set in the OG series. We know that. We know Obi-Wan is the virtuous master. He's the GOAT. So maybe including that scene in Revenge of the Sith would kind of tarnish his image a little bit. It really does, kind of. Like, it puts a whole nasty spin on things. Like, this is just, wow. You guys just don't understand. I'm like, my mind is rebuilding the scene, and I got to go in here and take a look at Revenge of the Sith now to see if I can actually make it out. Him mouthing the words, "Help me." That's painful to think about. Anakin asking for help, and then Obi-Wan refusing it, and then saying, "I hate you." It makes sense. It makes total sense. Wow. Great recommendation, Actus. Thank you. Every time I see your name pop up with recommendations, I'm like, oh, what do we got this time? What do we got this time? So thanks again. I really appreciate that. I got some homework to do on that one. I'm going to take a look and learn a little bit more about where that came from. But great recommendation. I'm loving these things, guys. I think our community is going to be based on this. So those of you who are subscribers, please continue giving me recommendations. I'm loving it. Like I mentioned earlier, through these recommendations, I'm learning more about the content we all all love. And I'm also learning about you guys. I'm learning about what you like, what you want to see. And this is a democracy.
Anakin, my allegiance is to the Republic, to democracy!
This isn't like me just leading the charge and controlling everything. I'm a fan as well. So any recommendations you guys give me, I'm going to take a look and I'm going to give you a natural reaction, my honest reaction to everything. And I am loving it. So keep them coming. Keep them coming. For you new folks who stumble across this video, subscribe, join us. Give me even more recommendations so that I can react to these things. I'm loving it. I love doing these things and I just can't wait to see what else comes down the pipeline. So guys, have a good one. I'm going to end it here, but we have another request coming up shortly, so stay tuned for that one. Have a good one.
Big